Esperanto was developed in the 1880s by an ophthalmologist. Dr. Ludwig Zamenhof's goal was to create an easy and flexible language which could be used universally. The first dictionary contained 900 words. The roots were internationally recognized. For example, saluden means hello. The phrase I don't understand you would sound like mi ne comprenas vin. As this new language grew in popularity, native speakers started to emerge. They were born into families which spoke Esperanto. The Forbes list tycoon George Soros is a native speaker of this constructed language. There were even plans at the beginning of the 20th century to establish a territory in Europe called Neutral Morisnet, the world's first Esperanto state. However, totalitarian leaders were suspicious. In Nazi Germany, Esperanto was condemned because Zamenhof was Jewish. And in 1937, Stalin denounced Esperanto as the language of spies. In the 1950s, it was rejuvenated, but the moment had already been lost. English had acquired the status of the international second language. Esperanto is considered to be much easier to learn. Research shows it takes around 1,500 hours to learn English, but just 150 hours are needed to study Esperanto. During its history, Esperanto has been spoken by an estimated 2 million people. For a planet with a population of more than 6 billion, it seems that the language may have had its day.
Well, do you think that your language may be more, Europanto, can be more successful than Esperanto?
Well, Esperanto was a true language. My language is not a true one, it's just a joke. Esperanto was a noble and wonderful idea, but it simply didn't work because you cannot command, you cannot direct languages. Languages are natural phenomenon. When you try to influence a language, well, it might just not work, or it might work just for a lifespan, and then the language comes back to what it was. Languages follow their own path of development, following the unique and only principle a language follows, that is communication. So, well, Esperanto was a very good idea, but it remains just a good idea.
But listen, Esperanto didn't work, and really didn't work. And the reason that it didn't work, I think, is that when you learn a foreign language, there is a country where this language is spoken. So you can go there and develop it, yeah, because you go where this is what they speak. If you learn a foreign language, you automatically open a door into a new culture, and you can read books and original, yeah. But this is not a case with an artificial language. It is good for it's a good idea to make all the people in the world learn just 2 languages and be able to communicate around the world. But it doesn't give you these at least 2 great opportunities. Is that right?
Definitely. A language is the expression of a culture. If you do not have a culture and a people behind it, well, there's no language. And this is also true of Esperanto. Esperanto indeed was the expression of a peculiar culture that developed at the beginning of the last century in Eastern Europe. Polish, Yiddish, German, Russian people living together, they developed the need of a common language. But then this world has disappeared, and so there is no more the need, the background to develop such a language. You mean, you see, languages are a tool of identity also. Languages shape our identity, but also our face. I have an Italian face because when I speak, I move the muscles I need to pronounce Italian sounds. You have a Russian face because you need your sounds to speak your language. Sh, zh, sh, we do not have that in Italian. So language is essential for our being, for our face too. When I speak a foreign language, I transform my face. I put a mask on me. And so also my identity changes. This is a very dangerous process. Well, I'm joking again, it's a provocation. But when you jump from a language to another, well, you lose your identity. You do not know anymore who you are.
Words from which languages are used in Europanto? From any, including Japanese, or there were certain Latin-based languages that you...
Well, if you want to be serious and try to develop a theory on Europanto, you can say that Europanto takes his words from Latin roots mainly, because in Europe we have Latin roots in all our languages, also in non-Latin languages. And then you put all this in a English grammar, rough English grammar, very simple, very basic, taking advantage also of these international words I was mentioning before. This cocktail, this mixture, becomes Europanto.
Says Diego Marani, the inventor of Europanto language. We will continue talking about it just in a minute or so after a short break, so stay where you are, don't go.